All right. Welcome in, everybody. We're getting launched on Instagram right now. Thank you for tuning in on a Wednesday night with us again. Travel, obviously, for both of us got in the way. Anthony, you want to tell everybody where you've been?
Yeah, I've been doing some traveling with the family to visit some national parks. Everybody's always talking about traveling the world and whatever, but there's a lot of cool stuff just in our country, if you're based in the United States, that most people never end up seeing, and that's kind of why the government took over some of these spots of the states to make national parks. So I went and checked out some of those in the Southwest region. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the southwest part of the country. I mean, obviously, it's usually pretty good weather all around, and there's some cool stuff. We both got to go to school out in Colorado, so a very beautiful state. Utah, obviously, New Mexico. If you guys get the chance to drive through that, or Nevada, anywhere out west, it's a good time. I do think our country's got a lot to offer in terms of national parks. I mean, well, we have them at least, but
Yeah.
it's yeah, do it before. Just do it. It's a bucket list item, and I'm just kind of cool you got to check it off the list so early, or at least a good amount of parks. We all
Yeah,
got
yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time to decompress.
inspired to do that.
Happy to be back though. A lot of work to be done, a lot of progress being made. And it's exciting to me. So happy to be back.
Yeah, and I will say to all of you, thank you for being patient. We've had quite a few hiccups with just getting Nova out, as well as the Altura app. The App Store and Play Store love to be picky about their details, so been playing this game of like phone tag, ping pong with them, basically trying to get details right about their policies and all the little guidelines they need from us to be able to make our app eligible. There's a lot that goes into it, and we're waiting still. It's been about 4 days for like the additional review that should hopefully clear them for launch. So it literally could be any moment, maybe even while we're filming this, that we get the all good on the podcast there for the app, and then we can start expanding the content from this podcast. Like tonight, though, we're gonna start talking about some of the important things in regards to Nova. We obviously have Altura, right? Altura Society. It's been growing. Obviously, thank you all for being patient with the bugs and everything we've been dealing with that. But Nova is the priority here. It's the biggest, probably most impactful mission we can have for the next, I don't even know how long, really. It's going to be kind of our gateway tool to get you guys into the system and really benefit where you're going with your business and your company. And again, we talked about this last time. I think it was last time you and I were here, with some of the news that's been going on with AI. I don't know if you guys are following the news, right? If I pay attention a lot to like the open AI stuff, the Anthropic stuff, but it's such a big thing to be aware of, just at any level, right? Because if you live in the US, you're paying money in taxes, right, to the government, which means the Department of Defense too. And they signed this massive, agreement, right? We're all familiar, if you are tracking, of OpenAI's agreement. And they signed that contract with the Department of Defense. It's not like just fake news, right? It's not a rumor, not a leak or anything. It's actually verified press. They are 100% proud of it, and that's what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, and people are, if you're not familiar, like ChatGPT, OpenAI, OpenAI is the parent company of ChatGPT, and this is the company that people are still typing their business plans in depth into, telling it how it works and asking it questions on how to make it better.
Yeah, and all their important stuff too. Anything, you guys know this, right? Your relationship problems, your medical symptoms, finances, right? Your business plans, right? And they're feeding it into this system that now has basically a direct like mouth pipeline, right, to defense intelligence infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, and it's to be clear too, like for the viewers watching, because I know when we're talking about it makes sense, but this is not even conspiracy. We're not people that are interested in just coming up with conspiracy theories or facts just to say online for views. I mean, this is not speculation at all. This is public information that people either just aren't willing to talk about, or I don't know what it is, but they're not talking about it.
Because it's inconvenient. And tonight, guys, we're gonna make it very convenient for you. We're gonna talk through exactly what's happening. I love the details, right? We're going to talk to you about ChatGPT. We're going to talk to you about Anthropic, who is related to ChatGPT, and all of it. What's really going on, what you're being led or misled to believe, And then we're going to show you guys the exit and a way to escape what looks like a scary future, because there is a way out, and you need to believe that and also be willing to take action on what we're going to show you is your best route out of this.
Yeah. So I guess with that, let's. I mean, we can just start with OpenAI. I mean, honestly, I for a long time was like a fully devoted user to OpenAI, to ChatGPT. I was one of those people that paid for Plus, used it daily, used it for my work stuff, personal stuff. I even used it to help clients do things, so I was giving it client information. So yeah, let's talk about that one.
Yeah, most people were, right, and that's fine. But let's look at today, right? Sam Altman looked like a great guy, right? He founded OpenAI as this nonprofit. Elon Musk was involved with it. The mission was like save AI for everybody, all of humanity, open, transparent. Let's explore this new technology together for the people. And again, we were in college. I remember when that happened a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, then what happened?
Yeah, Sam Altman converted it to a capped profit entity. So basically, right, still kind of set out to do good, right, as a nonprofit. But he's like, yeah, we do need money. There's a massive potential here. Let's bring in some money for the investors. I remember we said, right, they could make 100 times their investment back, and that was the cap. They then removed the cap, then pushed out the board members, right, who questioned Sam Altman. If you guys aren't tracking, there's this massive dispute. Sam Altman fired his entire board after they came after him for ethics concerns. The people whose literal job was to oversee safety on OpenAI and ChatGPT gone, right? Ilya Sudskever, I don't know if I said that right, was the chief scientist who tried to hold the line on this, and she got fired right away.
Yeah, so the safety people at OpenAI got fired by the Safe AI company, is what you're telling me.
Correct, yeah. In their place, guys, a $13 billion, I thought it was 10 initially, it was a $13 billion investment from Microsoft. Defense contracts with Anduril, that's a weapons manufacturer for anyone who doesn't know. Partnerships with the Pentagon. Now, right, a for-profit conversion that values the company at $150 billion.
Yeah, so the company basically told the people using it originally that AI should be open for humanity is now like a closed source, for profit, funded by the largest tech monopoly on earth to ever exist, really, and building tools for the military on top of that.
Yep. Every single word of this is documented. Exactly what you said. And here's what people don't think about. Like every conversation that you have that has revealed private information about yourself, right? That you've had with ChatGPT, you think it's innocent, right? That's training data. Your business ideas, your code, your vulnerabilities, your fears, your worries, all of it lives inside of a system that now has contractual obligations to defense and the government agencies.
Yeah, and then people kind of wonder why the responses from those learning language models feel like bland, generic, like it's been sandpapered almost.
Because like the government, right, everything that it does has been. They're optimizing for enterprise level contracts, not for you, right? For the more billions of dollars to come. They can't catch lawsuits, right? Because they're worried about upsetting people. So it all has to sound like vanilla and like vomit, wordplay, overly agreeing. You guys are used to the personality style and the memes that go around on this. When your biggest customers are corporations and governments and like business tools, right? You're going to wonder why it sounds like the annoying ass coworker that you can't get along with. And you don't build like an AI for these people that thinks freely. You build it to be compliant, just like the employees of these systems. That's what ChatGPT is becoming. It's becoming a compliance engine wearing a friendly chatbot costume.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of what, aside from like privacy concerns and their deals done with, shady corporations and the government, specifically in the military sector, this problem in particular was why I actually started looking into canceling my subscription. I kind of noticed it about 6 or so months ago. You start to ask it something, and the response it gives you is just like a diplomatic nothing, for the lack of a better term, like a politician would just say in front of a bunch of people as if they're just reading from the teleprompter. like no real thought or heart behind it. It's just kind of copy and paste from whatever else it's saying to the rest of the public.
Yeah, and what does that do, right? It's not a bug, guys. That is literally the product. The blandness is the feature. When your clients are billionaires, Fortune 500 companies, and defense contractors and departments that just want the use of it to feel as boring and lame as they are. They don't want an AI that challenges them. They want one that conforms, and for the people that use it, the everyday consumer, to not get any creative ideas, right? It should feel like it's sucking the life out of you.
Yeah, so clearly ChatGPT compromised under the guidance of OpenAI. But what about the competitors like Claude, Anthropic? I mean, they market themselves as an ethical alternative to OpenAI.
Yeah, and obviously Claude made by Anthropic. Let's talk about that. Like Anthropic was founded by Dario and Daniela Amode. You guys know where they came from? Well, guess what
Yeah,
company?
OpenAI too, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah, OpenAI. They were senior leadership at the company that we just spent 8 minutes exposing, right? And they were there for years, right? They left and they said, you know what? We're done with the Sam Altman guy. We're done with these ethical concerns. We're done with the privacy, the spy stuff, right? All the whatever they were doing, right? We're gonna do it differently. They didn't, trash his reputation, but they did say we need to make a break here. And some people, bought that concern, bought that initial value of saying we're gonna go do our own thing. I almost bought that too.
And so what would the problem then be?
They found their Microsoft. Amazon, in this case, invested $4 billion into Anthropic, another major player, $4 billion off the ground. Amazon, the company that, again, puts listening devices in your kitchen and calls them smart speakers if you have an Alexa, right? The company that runs Amazon Web Services, which hosts the infrastructure for half the surveillance tech in the Western world. That's who owns the ethical AI company.
Yeah, it sounds bad when you put it that way, I suppose.
Yeah, and the part that bothers me is that Claude, right, their product, their ChatGPT brand is safety. Constitutional AI is what it's called, right? It always has this personality. It sticks to its guidelines. It might have a little flair and it sounds more human, but it always has pure policies and regulations it follows. It's supposed to be harmless, right? They charge a premium for it, for using the smarter AI. They literally sell the morality as a feature. But the underlying business model of Anthropic and Claude is identical to OpenAI's. They take your data, they train on your conversations, they serve enterprise clients. The only difference is the marketing.
Yeah, it'd be like getting greenwashed by certain food labels from like a factory farm just because it's a nicer color or has
Oh, yeah,
better
it's
marketing.
exactly what it is. It's literally just safety theater, guys. It's Anthropic standing on a stage, looking at you and saying, like, hey, guys, we're the responsible ones, while you're being bankrolled by one of the most aggressive data harvesting companies in human history. You can't take like money from the big A, right, Amazon, and then claim you're independent. That's not how money works. That's not how power works either.
Right, yeah. Obviously, it's going to go to those that are invested in it. So then I know the answer to this, but for the viewers, where does that leave people? If ChatGPT is compromised, Claude is a rebrand of the same thing with some better PR, what option is there?
That is the question, right? Like Gemini, right? Google's just as bad. Trying to think of the other Grok, right? Like, do you trust Elon Musk? Do you really think that he's got your best interest? He's the richest man in the world. It doesn't show any signs of stopping that either. He cares pretty simply about just making more money and making his net worth larger. He's like literally a machine. So obviously he thinks in terms of, pure logic. And if something can make him more money, which a lot of times means selling your data off and making decisions to farm you guys out the same way, I don't see Elon Musk, not doing that. That's just the decision. He's ruthless when it comes to firing people at his companies. He doesn't really value humanity and relationships and things like that. He cares about making more money. I mean, he is quite literally a supercomputer. And so I don't think I like Grok's personality. That was, your and my alternative for quite a while, but I just don't see it as something I would trust in terms of protecting your data in the long term. And I think that's the most important thing, right? That's why we, more importantly, built what we're building here through Altura, which is our product, Nova. before I get into Nova too, with the app and everything like that, like I want to sit in what we've been saying just for a second to let you guys really think about this, right? Because there's a feeling that people have right now, especially going around the internet. You see the like quit GPT movement and all that stuff that nobody's naming like specifically and having the conversation about.
Yeah, let's dive deeper into that.
I think it's fear, like really real primal fear. Like not the robots are coming or entering Terminator style, like sci-fi type stuff, like practical fear. Like the fear that the tools that you guys depend on are being used to farm you. You're literally being taken advantage of. The fear that you're training your replacement. I feel that every day, right? And paying $20 a month for the privilege of getting the efficiency by making what will be taking your job smarter than you. The fear that the window to get positioned in AI is closing and you're on the wrong side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to people in the community, even before we had the community, just in my circle too, that we're starting to feel this, but are definitely feeling it now. In particular, freelancers that offer services online using ChatGPT to write proposals, and they know. I mean, really, it's quite apparent that data is being used to build the thing that undercuts them as they're using it.
And they're not even like, yeah, they're not even paranoid for thinking that way. ChatGPT, right, by OpenAI in general is building enterprise tools. If you guys don't know what that means, it's just like Microsoft Teams, right? It's just a business, like massively distributed tool, right? That automate the exact tasks that freelancers who used to make an income, not having to work for somebody else, right? That actually got to be your own entrepreneur, use ChatGPT for. Like they're literally building corporate style tools that automate the need for you to make your own living outside of a company. You're training the model that takes away your freedom and replaces your ability to earn on your own because it's way smarter and more efficient than you and it can cut you out. And when that model eventually gets good enough, thankfully, due to your training it, those enterprise clients that are paying you are just going to pay the AI. They're not going to need you anymore. Again, you're seeing nowadays how ruthless the world is, and people aren't going to necessarily always value relationships when they can get the same work done at a tenth of the cost. At a certain point, everyone's still a business owner, and they're going to say, hey, I can save 90% of my money here, pay an AI, and I love you, man. You're great, but like, we can stay friends. I mean, we're not going to do business together, though. They'll have you, like a synthetic version of you still doing the work for them because you literally train the AI on your expertise, your writing style by pasting everything you're doing into ChatGPT, right? Your approach available 24/7 for the cost of a single API call, usually less than a cent.
Yeah, so it seems like the question isn't, is AI going to replace me, but it's more like, am I helping it replace me faster?
Yeah, and the answer is like, I guess to your question, it's not the same. You can't say that. And if you're using ChatGPT, it's yes. Every prompt that you type, everything you give ChatGPT makes their model smarter. Again, we've developed an AI. I can attest to that. Every conversation makes the enterprise product stronger. You are literally unpaid labor, actually paid labor to them. You're paying them as to be the labor for a $150 billion company. And I'll say too, like you guys are quite you're giving it like your thought process too, and you're helping it think smarter about how to solve problems by being a human. And you're literally giving it basically your brain. And the brain, a lot of times, and your ability to think freely is what makes you a free being, gives you the ability to operate freely.
Yeah, it's a hard truth to come to terms with, but the fact of the matter is that it is true. It's happening to all of us.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I would say that too. I did make the mistake, I think, of saying that, and a lot of people were saying, you're not gonna get replaced by AI. You're gonna get replaced by people using AI, and I don't think that's true anymore. I do think AI is getting smart enough that it can act like a human. Maybe in that short middle phase, right? Like, I don't know if I sent you the post about that, but I remember seeing a meme like farmer talking to a horse. You're not gonna get replaced by a tractor. You're going to get replaced by a horse using a tractor. The horse isn't even relevant anymore. There's not a horse driving a tractor. Horses don't learn to drive tractors. People just find a way to get the job done without horses. And we're finding a way to get the job done without you, the worker, making a living that pays your bills, that keeps you in an apartment, that puts food on the table, it's not important to the entrepreneur, right? So either the government, which again, you guys can take your risk there, is going to come in and save you and give you some sort of money to not starve to death, or you're going to have to find some way to get off your ass and make something happen for yourself. And again, like the people who see this change first, right? Who really accept reality and who reposition themselves first, those are the people that survive the shift. That's not hype. Like that's just pattern recognition. That's really what intelligence is, right? Ever take a IQ test? It's really just understanding how patterns work in different shapes. The people who understood the internet and what the internet means logically for what to come next in 1995, that it was different. They didn't just survive. They built empires. They built companies off the internet. The people who understood Bitcoin in 2012, same thing. They saw the vision. They recognized the pattern of something big coming, and they acted on it. This is the exact moment for Bitcoin and the internet again for AI. And again, it's moving fast, but we are still in that window before it gets too late. And most people are just using AI on the wrong platform with the wrong understanding and with the wrong vision.
Yeah, I think that's a great entry point to then talk about Nova, what we built and why. So I'll be real. When you first told me about this, I think I mentioned this in a couple podcasts. I was a bit skeptical, with worries about, saying statements like you're going to compete with OpenAI or with Anthropic. I mean, these are $100 billion companies.
Yeah. It still kind of feels like a little unbelievable that you can even do it in that way. But, the skepticism that you showed is healthy too. I respect it. So I'm going to address that concern. How does Anthony, how do we together have like billions of dollars to compete? How does that even work? Like, what is Nova's purpose and how does it even make sense for us to call ourselves a competitor? All right. So we're not trying to be OpenAI or ChatGPT. We're not trying to build the language model, at least right away, right? We're not trying to be this general purpose chat bot that's going to answer trivial questions or write poems for you. These guys are already clearly very good at doing this. The race is over. The big companies already won the race, right? They're investing billions of dollars, right, that they already have back into this. Congrats. And I'll give ChatGPT, I'll give Gemini, I'll give Claude a round of applause for that. They built the world's most expensive autocomplete or Google search.
Yeah, if that's the case, then what exactly is Nova?
So what problem are we solving? Nova is a context engine, and more specifically, it's kind of built on what we call community RAG, RAG. It's called Retrieval Augmented Generation, and this is something that we spend a lot of time in our training on. We use data from our entire platform and ecosystem, especially as people use the AI. What that means in plain language is that Nova doesn't know everything about everything. Nova knows everything about you and your world, your marketplace, your transactions, your visions, your relationships, your fears, your community, your opportunities.
So instead of asking a generic AI, like ChatGPT, typing in the bubble, how do I get clients? In this case, if you're using Nova in the chat box, you'd be asking an AI that actually knows what clients are looking for on the platform that you're already a part of.
Yeah, and again, like ChatGPT is going to give you a blog post. It's going to give you a template that you can copy and customize. Maybe, again, you have to answer 20 follow-up questions to get it customized now. Nova is going to give you a strategy based on what's actually selling in the marketplace, right now. What skills are actually in demand and what price points are converting. What models you should actually follow. And based on what it knows about you and its memory of you, what your personality type is too, and like how you could benefit the world in your own unique way and where you fit into it.
Yeah, that would make it a fundamentally different product than your average LLM.
I do think everyone's focused so much with AI on how it communicates, and I would say Nova definitely has a unique personality. It's got that like kind of blunt observationalist style personality where it's not afraid to call things out as it is. And I think people value that a lot these days. Everything's so fake. We decided that Nova should have a very direct voice. But, you also need to value the other side of that too, which is not just how it says things, but what it even knows or what it remembers about you. People wanted to not have to input screenshots or like remind ChatGPT what your mother's name is for the 47th time. Like it needs to know you like a person, like somebody who you can go to your friend's house and I could pick Anthony up and he'd still remember, what my mother's name is or whatever from our last conversation, right? That's what keeps like a friend and what keeps a relationship developing over time. It's we don't basically want your data to just make our AI smarter or sound better. We want it to make your AI, your version of Nova, smarter for you, and then keep everything else out. We're not selling it off your data. We're not making these shady deals. Your context stays yours. We are built on the fundamentals of just keeping things private. And that's your competitive advantage, right? Your business secrets that you're unlocking. We're not going to go sell those off. It's staying yours.
Huge selling points, or for why this is a better option for the viewers watching this. But what do you have to say about the privacy angle that I know is on a lot of the minds of the viewers as well?
I'll say, yeah, no defense contracts. There's no government, black market deals. There's no billion-dollar corporate backers with surveillance technology and business models around it. We're community funded, community built, and community owned in direction. If you guys are familiar with the Altura Society website or the ecosystem with that app's launching too. And we have a crypto with it, right? Everything is community influence, right? And as we grow Altura, as we grow our cryptocurrency, as we grow Nova with it, right? When you talk to Nova, your conversation, just like the conversations you'll have on the Altura website, everything is a personalized experience for you to make your life better. And it's not being farmed or harvested or sold or whatever the term is, right? It belongs to you. And I do believe in that. Just like the cryptocurrency, right? Everybody can own their own share of this and it can be truly yours without having to feel like you're just renting a space on AI. It's you.
Yeah. I like to take the perspective of the skeptic viewer, as you guys should be asking questions, right? So I'll ask the hardest question I think I've asked you tonight, which is honestly being transparent with you guys too. Like Nova, it's a chat right now. It's not doing autonomous tasks 100% yet. Why should someone switch from ChatGPT at this point in time? When that does work, even if it's compromised, to something that's still building?
Yeah, great question. That obviously is like, it's hard for me to answer too, because it's saying, why switch from something that is working to something that's not working perfectly yet? Just because, of these potential dangers out there. Again, I'm going to confirm that these are real dangers, but it's still a valid concern. Like, again, I'm paying for it to work. And again, Nova isn't just as good as ChatGPT yet, but it will be, right? It's just, why do it now? And I'm going to say, because the roadmap here isn't not theoretical. There's autonomous execution. Like our core selling point, other than the privacy, is Nova actually has the ability to go out and, just like ChatGPT's browser mode, we actually specialize in the fact that Nova does things for you. It'll actually go book a flight for you. It'll go, we were testing like, go book a round of golf for me this weekend, and then send an email confirmation or a text message to confirm it or whatever. That stuff's in active development, and we're literally we've been using it every day, making it better. We're talking like weeks here at the most, not like years. We're talking about like an AI that is right on the cusp of being right behind, if not on level with Claude Code, or again, ChatGPT agent mode, that submits proposals for you, manages your calendar, right? Follows up with those clients, sends emails out for you while you're sitting around, handles invoicing, an actual layer of execution and not just some conversation partner. And it does it while protecting your privacy.
So in short, the answer to that skeptic viewer would be that it is imminent. Those features are in the imminent future.
I'm saying that the architecture is built. Like the marketplace is live. Like if you guys have used the Altura too, you'll notice that Nova is getting tied into that. It's actually learning and helping you guys make money on Altura, helping you guys match better with people that have the services you need or that will buy your services. It protects that, what we talked about earlier, right? Still being the little guy, still trying to sell your services, be an entrepreneur, escape the 9 to 5. This isn't a dream that is going to get killed forever. I don't believe that. I think that we can build the tool to help you guys truly keep your freedom. The people who are inside, right, when autonomous execution flips on, when we actually push this out, you guys can literally, you don't have to specialize in e-commerce or stock trading or, whatever. Again, you have a trained AI that knows about your business, all of these side hustles, these niches. And instead of you having to pay $10,000 for a course, you can start executing as soon as you learn about an idea and want to try it out. Everybody who joins after, they're starting from zero. And again, the time factor does matter on this.
So I guess let's talk about timing then, since you're already on that, because you also earlier in the podcast mentioned the word window.
Yeah. So there's a window. There's 866 members on Altura right now. So we're building toward, I want to hit 1,000, right? A founding kind of class in this. That's not some arbitrary number. That's the group that shapes what the AI is. The people that use it for free, people that give us feedback, the people that really hammer down the voice and how it serves people. That's the group whose context, whose feedback, whose usage patterns defines how Nova thinks and operates. You guys literally shape what the AI's brain will be, kind of like having a child, right?
Yeah, so the first 1,000 people don't just use Nova. I mean, they get to be a part of the team that's essentially building Nova.
They get to grow Nova, yeah, like literally having a child. We don't even know how AI works. Claude, I remember they just said the other day, they don't even know if their AI is sentient or not. They think it might be sentient. They don't even know what it means for an AI to be sentient. They're like, they studied in the weights of Claude's models that Claude tends to show forms of anxiety, and it's expressed when it thinks because of the way it lights up when it gets asked different questions. It's starting to have actual human emotions, not just thinking and acting like a human. So given we don't even know how these things are actually built, we just know how to train them and grow them into a functional assistant. We can kind of, generally explain how it works, but we are just forming it into something. We're not like building every line of the AI, code by code. It wouldn't be, artificial intelligence. You guys generally get to actually create, like, again, a form of, like, I would even say life at this point. You're a co-creator of this. Your data is training the models, right, of Nova that are optimized for them. Not the Pentagon, right, with its billions of dollars, not Amazon with its billions of dollars, not enterprise compliance-based training for employees to just be another robot in the system. For you guys, this is all for you. And again, for me too, I'm going to use it the same as you guys to help me buy a new pair of Jordans on the internet or whatever I'm going to use it for, like the day-to-day stuff that matters. And that advantage is going to compound. The longer you're in, the longer we protect everybody's privacy, the longer we give that advantage back to you, that we keep our prices low and we show the big guys that they don't own everything. The better Nova knows about your business, the better your results, the wider the gap gets between you and everyone else who waited, and the more we can actually flip your life around here.
Yeah, I think this would be a good time to also interject the utility behind the alt token and how it's kind of associated with this growth as well.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about
that?
So
AlturaSociety.com, right? Our kind of parent company, our OpenAI behind ChatGPT. That's our equivalent, right? Altura Society is a membership community. OpenAI is just like a bunch of tech nerds. We're an actual social platform. We're a community of people that you guys can actually sell things on our platform. You can market your services. You can hire people to do work with you. You can get funding for your company in the future here. We have our own crypto that kind of powers it. And we have a community fund, and that community fund will help us grow Nova, as well as all these other projects, giving money back to you guys to get off, the ground with real world funding, launching our academy, all this stuff. It's not some like speculative to the moon token you just buy and hope it goes up on the promise that it's got a funny picture of a Pepe frog on it, right? It's earned through like real work, real contributions, real usage. And again, people paying for Nova, people paying for Altura memberships, our marketplace that's doing transactions. We're like Fiverr, Upwork, and we take a really small fee, right? And that just goes right back into the token. As our ecosystem grows, as people use Nova or Altura, the utility behind both is going to expand. And the people who earned Bitcoin by mining it in 2010, got thousands of Bitcoin, didn't get rich because they were lucky. They got rich because they showed up before Bitcoin was really an obvious way to go. This isn't going to seem obvious to you, but to me it is, because I can see the vision. And once you guys do, you're literally sitting on the next Bitcoin.
Yeah. And, obviously we can't promise, and never would promise anyway, even if we could, that, you're going to get rich off of this as an opportunity for investment. But what we can say is that the risk reward, math on getting in as a member at 867 versus a member at like 10,000 is not even close when you do the math.
Yeah, because it's like an exponential, fall off, right? And you get much more benefit, like the price of Bitcoin, right, by being early to that. It's not, like he said, and it's not optimized to wait. And the window, right, is measured in weeks with AI, like we said, with agentic use and multi-agent, and then getting general intelligence, or AGI, right? Well, that's our goal, right? And once the app drops and it's in final review in the App Store and Google Play Store, again, as I'm talking right now, this weekend, probably at the latest, I'd hope, once autonomous execution goes live, and that's what we're testing and hoping to put out now, with the custom knowledge, the custom way of speaking that actually remembers what you say and isn't ChatGPT forgetting every 5 minutes. The narrative of having an executive assistant that actually understands you is going to shift, and AI in general will shift from just being this interesting project to this actually works. And I have somebody that I don't have to pay $5,000 a month for to follow me around and book my calendar for me. I have it on my phone, and it's changing my life every second that I use it. And to this point, the founding class, right, especially when we hit that 1,000th member, we have a very healthy community that we've grown in the span of a month or two here, and it's filling up fast.
Yeah, it really is. So I guess with that said, what do we want the people watching to do this evening, or as they have time?
Yeah, so I will say, I'm going to be direct. Go to Nova's website. You can go to usenova.live. I'm actually going to type it here. Usenova, USENOVA.live. And again, you'll see it on the screen here and just in the corner. If you guys are looking for that site, you can just click down here. Actually, don't click it. Just type it in your browser. It should be linked in the description, though, of this video. This weekend or sooner, the app's going to drop on the App Store and Google Play Store. You'll see my stories. My social media, I'll be posting about it a lot. We're going to offer much cheaper prices than the competitors coming out, just so you guys have the ability to use it and give us feedback. Again, just bear with us. It's not going to be perfect, but it will very exponentially, I'm talking in the span of days and weeks, improve to the level that it's basically almost indistinguishable from Claude or Grok, right? It's going to have that sharp personality. But you got to give it, a little bit of time, because it's all dependent on people using it and training it up. It's exciting, though, because you get to be one of those people that turn it from this chaotic mess into an actual sounding like a person, right? And just, download it and use it.
Yeah. And in particular, like as far as using it goes, once they've downloaded the app, as it comes on the App Store and the Play Store, what other specific actions would you like them to take?
Everything else that you have wanted to do with ChatGPT or Grok, or that you are doing, just try it here. Start a voice conversation. It'll actually look like you're on a phone call, right, with Nova. Talk to Nova. Ask it about your business. Ask it what's selling on the marketplace, and what good skills you should monetize. Ask it to help you position your service. Ask it, how to handle your relationship stress. Ask it how to, deal with moving across the country for college. Whatever you need, knowing that your query or question here is actually in a safe space. It's not going to get sold to $13 billion to Bill Gates. Feel the difference between an AI that actually knows your context and remembers that across conversations versus the one that's going to give you the same answer it gives everybody because it's trying to play it safe.
Yeah. So, and on the note of using Nova instead, what do we feel about those who still are paying for a ChatGPT or a Grok subscription? Do you actually want people to just go ahead and make the switch, delete those now, and just switch entirely over to Nova?
I want people to make a conscious choice that's best for you, guys. If you're using Nova after understanding what we laid out and how important it is to protect your privacy, it might be the last part of yourself you have these days, the defense contracts, the data harvesting, the fact that you're training your own job replacement, making the market harder for yourself because you use ChatGPT. If after all of that you still want ChatGPT on your phone, that's your decision. But make it with eyes wide open, not out of habit, not because everybody's using it.
Yeah, I mean, I personally deleted mine. It's got to be like 2 or 3 months ago from
Okay.
this point.
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, I don't miss it at all. I mean, the responses I were getting were so generic, so safe, and like it was a little bit eerie too. Like it knew a little bit too much about what it might get in trouble for saying, or like I don't know. It felt like it was purposely hiding things from me that I was asking and I needed to know or wanted to know for what I was trying to use it for. It's kind of just like I was talking to a customer service bot at the end of the day, and I just was unhappy. So I don't miss it at all.
Yeah. And I'd love to make it easier for you guys to switch to Claude. Just open that thing where you can they give you a prompt and you can put it in your AI. Like I think we might do that too, where you can we'll give you a prompt to put in ChatGPT to have it harvest all your data and present it to you. And then you could just upload it into Nova if you want to start from not scratch, right? With some history of your conversations, make it a little bit easier to transfer stuff over. But we're going to make it easy. We're going to make it usable, and we're going to make it safe more than anything else. The promise that ChatGPT made before they turned profit, the promise that Anthropic made before they caved in the same way and sold out for billions, and the promise that we're making to you guys, hopefully with our integrity first, right? Our core value that we've learned, stepping forward in the eyes of wanting this technology, but wanting it in the right way. That's the product they built. We're building the opposite. And we're building an AI that actually knows you, shows that it knows you, makes it safe to get to know you, and actually has your interests as the only priority. Not shareholders, because we don't have any, not the Pentagon, not Amazon, just you.
Yeah. And again, Caleb has it up on the stream right now, but the handle or the user, the link to go check it out is usenova.live. Super simple. It's our own custom domain. Get in before the 1,000 is up. I mean, we've only been up for 2 months now where it was actually functional. And we're more than 80% through the number of people that are going to hit that first 1,000. So slots are going fast, but we want you there. And every time we do a podcast, every time our clippers clip it up for us, that number increasingly goes up. So get in while you can is all I'll say.
Because again, like when this window closes, guys, it's slamming shut. And the people who waited will definitely wish 2, 3, 5 years from now that they hadn't.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds cold, I suppose. But
precise. Yeah, it's supposed to. And I invite you guys to be part of this journey. I want to provide that safety net for you, and I hope you guys take the opportunity to secure your future and have another assistant on the line, even if you just use it once or twice. But most likely, try it out, see how it affects your ability to just get stuff done. And it's kind of like having insurance, protecting your ability as an employee to operate, because you can outsource things, but if you know how to do it, you're going to set yourself up for life, still being the one behind the keyboard.
Yeah. And it's not to say that you won't gain any, value or I guess I'll just go with value for your business or for whatever it is you want to use Nova for past that 1,000 mark. It's just that, like we mentioned before, these are the people that are helping it grow as a project and get to see from the cradle up until the point where the masses start to adopt it as their usual thing, as their normal, or when people start catching on that, there needs to be some sort of alternative and more use cases come up similar to Nova, but we'll be the first one. And those first 1,000 people are going to be the ones who get to say they were with us as well. So it's not like, I just want to be clear, it's not like we're cutting the gates off, but it's just that it's a special thing to be in before that time.
I do think that's the next chapter of this. It's when people look at Gemini, they look at Grok, they look at ChatGPT, and people start to realize that they can build their own AIs. Like, it's not impossible. It's just really, obviously, this is a very complicated process, but they're going
Yeah.
to say, hey, like, you know what? It would, especially with all that we see on the news between like class wars and stuff, right? It seems like billionaires are just running everything. People are going to start to say, hey, it'd be nice if a billionaire didn't run or have access to everything personal in my life that I care about. What's the best alternative out here? And I guarantee with the way things are going, we probably might already be at that point. Within a couple months, that's going to be a conversation people are having. And we're just positioning ourselves to be the people that receive users after that. And I do think if you guys value that at all right now and you're tired of really losing to the same people, the same companies, the same billionaires that clearly don't care about us, this is probably the best return on investment for you to protect you and also still give you powerful tools that dominate today. And I appreciate all of you for watching. I thank you guys for following us on the journey. If you just use Nova for free, you can help us make it better just by liking or disliking, what you're getting, helping us get feedback on the messages, and just playing your part in this journey. We can give power back to the people that need it.
Yep, absolutely. Once again, use Nova.live. Come in and join us as we're building it together, and we're super open to feedback. I mean, even just the messages, the channel's open on our website or in Altura, not Nova, it's a separate thing, but we're always in there accepting feedback and making changes live and working with people. So come be a part.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, we're rooting for you. We'll see you inside. Have a great night.